So we're here. I don't know how I'm going to call this episode 67, but this is the break point, the recap slash evaluation episode of the TEW 2016 challenge run. We're just coming off a hot and, according to this, fantastic reviewed SummerSlam 2019 pay-per-view. And I have to agree. Though I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get an A-star match. You can't really say no to 92A, 93A, 92A, 90A. Yeah, so it was it was a great show, but definitely beatable in the future by like maybe WrestleMania or Survivor Series or something like that. Maybe even a B show could. But we've got a couple of things on the agenda. First of all, AEW tried to counter-program my fantastic SummerSlam show with AEW Living on a Prayer 1, a show co-headlined by Kenny Omega versus Ryback and Cody versus Puck and Shawn Ricker and Jimmy Havoc and Brandy Rhodes and Ali. They're quite a far way off catching your boy, who is by far and away the biggest company in the world. They're making stacks, 5 million profit. But now, we got the first on the agenda, we're going to check how we got on with our goals. Apollo Crews, 70s by SummerSlam. We got him there. Because he was, last time we did this little update thing, I believe he was in the low 50s. He beat Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel, and that really shot him up. And then just promos and stuff in the build-up to SummerSlam tipped him over the edge. I believe he was actually higher than this before the actual pay-per-view, because he took a loss. He dropped down. Zack Ryder is in the 60s. I mentioned on the pay-per-view that the segment of him on the pay-per-view with him and the Street Profits and Otis and all them could have been the most important segment of the entire show. That's because going into that pay-per-view, Zack Ryder was 60s all across the board except for one spot. I think it might have been in Hawaii. He was a 59. And technically, if I left him like that and he was a 59 in Hawaii but a 60 everywhere else, I would have failed the goal. So I stuck him on a segment on SummerSlam, hoping he'd go up one pop. Apparently he went up 3, which, okay, sure. But, yeah, Zack Ryder, playing poker with No Way Jose, has tipped him over the edge to get him 60 pop. So these two are officially no longer goals of ours. Ricochet, WWE Champion by Mania 36, is a goal that will be carrying over. Is he a main eventer? No, he's still up at mid with 68. He's borderline main eventer already. So, he is Mr. Money in the Bank. He has lost the Intercontinental Championship, so that won't be holding him down anymore. And yeah, he looks well on his way to becoming Big Trev, the WWE Champion before Mania 36. It's not something I'm going to stress about. Same with Jonathan Gargano here. High 50s. I believe that's borderline upper mid. Did just lose the United States title to Sami Zayn just last night. And yeah, he's now on his way. He's got no mid-card title holding him back, so I've just got to try and keep him strongly built, strongly pushed. And yeah, he should be there in no time. Becky has got her A-pop right now. And it's not WrestleMania yet, it's only SummerSlam. So we can yeet that one off the list. Because, again, I said it when I made the goal. I thought Mania 36 was an acceptable time because Fleece used to really hate women in the mod, and the highest they'd have a pop was like 50. But then this mod came out after Becky exploded in popularity IRL, and she started, a B-, so it really wasn't as difficult as it should have been. Braun and Babatunde, I can cross this off because, well, they're currently holding the tag team championships. And Braun is an 80 odd pop. Babatunde is actually auto pushing as an upper mid carder. Because of course he is. Need to just get him to the main event. Month-long UK tour, Insurrection pay-per-view by SummerSlam. We did this. This was successful. 3 100 matches in a year. We currently have 0. So, yeah, this one is looking bleak, I'm going to be honest, because I believe the deadline will be obviously December, week 4, 2019, to get 3 100 matches in a year. So I'm going to have to start smashing out huge Raw main events to try and get this done, because we currently have 0, we're 2/3 of the way through the year. Logic should dictate we should have 2 by now, but we don't have any. Global size, A, popularity, I don't think there's really a end goal for. I could just say WrestleMania, but needs 77 importance in 8 regions of America. We have 1 in Mid-Atlantic. We've got 76, 75, 75. Again, I believe these are... I believe Canada and Japan and Europe and UK and all them are already national. So that if I get the 75 important or 77 importance in the 8 regions of America, I think I will just go up without having to stress too much about all these. But yeah, we'll keep these 2 on. We'll keep Gargano on. Mojo and Maria. I've lost hope of being able to get done because this is something I can't control. Same with killing Shane McMahon. Make Brock Lesnar quit. He did job to Shinsuke Nakamura, but he didn't really bitch about it, so his happiness is still at normal. Again, I don't think there's an end goal for this. I could just say WrestleMania, but we'll keep it on. We'll keep trying to get Brock angry. Terrible match every show. This one, towards the end, I did kind of stop doing because halfway through, back in like June and July, if I go to the show history, matches were just happening on Raw and SmackDown. Look, Baron Corbin defeated Rhino. Razor defeated Lince Dorado. Yeah, matches were just being booked to the point where I completely really forgot about it because I didn't have to put any effort into it because every week I was booking some sort of terrible match. But towards the end, there was a couple of shows, like I believe the most recent SmackDown Live with the Gauntlet on. None of these you consider terrible matches, unless you just don't like Mike Kanellis, or for whatever reason. Or back here, 205 Live, SmackDown. Well, no way, Jose wrestled, so I guess that counts. But yeah, I'm sort of prepared to maybe take some sort of punishment for this one. Or maybe my punishment for the terrible match goal not being met will be to continue just to extend the goal further for the rest of the series. So I'll keep this one on, actually, because, yeah. Weakness on Bobby Lashley's glutes. For all intents and purposes, I could keep it on, but we were successful in getting Bobby Lashley's bum out to the world. Dragon Isu is here, so we can cross that one off. Flip Gordon is here. He just needs to become the US champion. and he's got until Survivor Series to do so. If we take a look at Flip, he's here. 42 pop. That's workable. Like I want to be like sort of by 50 would be a standard US champion. Sort of. I mean, he's got to win it regardless. Like if it's a week before Survivor Series, he's still at 42 pop. I'm gonna have to give him the belt just to pass the goal. But ideally, I'd want him to be a respectable United States champion. And I think like 50 is sort of the level that you need to be at for that belt. So we'll keep US champion on. Failure still results in cry, so I'm going to leave that there. I've got the agenda here. Goal recap. So now we're going to go through the series recap. Just what's been going down in the world of challenge runs so far. I'll start with the championships. On to the Giant Battle Royal and Women's Battle Royal haven't happened since we were last here. WWE Championship, 78 prestige, because McIntyre and Aleister Black kind of disappointed at SummerSlam. Only got like an AEB, I think, which is terrible. I can actually check. Yeah, AEB, which is not had the best run with the championship so far, because Black had to be kept strong. But the thing with McIntyre is he's now at 90 pop. So he won't need to have people kept strong. He can have just the best match possible because people will be alright to job to him. Cruiserweight champion, Rey Mysterio. Just freshly won after beating Tyler Bate. I'm sure the prestige of this is going to fly up. Now we've got somebody like Rey Mysterio as the champion. Tyler Bate did definitely have a very good run with the gold. You can see a definite increase here from 50s to 60s because the game hates Buddy Murphy. Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, they have defended it once, but it didn't count. Kalisto and Sin Cara. The Lucha Dragons currently hold them. IC title, actually the highest prestige it's ever been, with Sheamus at the helm. I would have thought this run here with Balor would be the best, but apparently not, because Balor was defending against Tyler Breeze, Kurt Hawkins apparently, which was on that show that I skipped. Braun and Babatunde are bringing up the prestige of the Tag Team Championships. The best Tag Team title match we've had still was Usos and the Revival, as you'd expect it to be. Braun and Babatunde and Yui and the Usos was the third best. So yeah, they're hanging in there. Babatunde is starting to get the rub from being with Braun Strowman. Bianca Belair, I'm assuming, tanked the prestige. Keeps going up. But Becky and Ronda was our best match for it. Then Becky and Ruby. Then Ronda and Charlotte. Becky and Peyton. Becky and Ruby again. Becky and Bianca. The worst match was actually the match where she won the title. And I think it's because it started at like a mid-card level. And the peak for that is like 70s and all this. So it keeps expanding past that. That's why it keeps going up. Akam and Rezar bringing the championships back to where they were before R-Truth and Curtis Axel won them. But it's fine. You look at the defenses here. Bar Axel and Truth, AOP. Women's SmackDown Women's title. Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Asuka. Tanked the prestige apparently after Asuka had it and she was the top champion, which I guess makes sense. Wait, no, Shayna was the champion. What was the June match? Oh, the Fatal 4-Way. Yeah, that would sort of make sense, but Ronda Rousey now is the champion. She is, I believe, the most popular woman on the brand. Yep, by a mile. So the championship should now be back in the spotlight with her as the champion. Sami Zayn is the United States champion. Had a hell of a match with Gargano. Helped boost the title to the most prestigious moment it's been so far in the save. Had a wide array of champions here. and Sami Zayn currently holds it. The Universal title 92A because they had a banger of a match. It's been 92A since, I believe, the Extreme Rules match that made me shit myself that you didn't hear because the recording failed. Yeah, Rollins definitely had a very good run towards the end here, but now it's time to see what AJ can do. Because he's not on decline, he's like the only guy of that sort of age range that isn't actually declining. And then the women's tag titles, prestige, keeps going up and up and up. Again, this is the same thing with the other titles, where because they were made in February at the D+, they're just going to keep rising until we hit sort of, I believe 68 is sort of like the peak where they will hit, unless Kyrie and Io just do great things with them. Let's go through creative meeting here. Our top franchise player is John Cena. Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles are our top guys. Next big things: Rhea, Alexa, Sasha, Aaliyah, and Noam Dar. Hot prospects are Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley, Aaliyah, Konami, and Sasha Banks. John Cena, Triple H, Becky Lynch, The Miz, and Seth Rollins are our top 5 talkers. Showstoppers are Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Finn Balor, Andrade, and John Cena. Ring generals are AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and John Cena. Buddy Murphy, Razor, Rhea Ripley, Apollo Crews, and Bianca Belair are hot. Tamina, Lana, Dragon Isu, Naomi, and Nia Jax are not. Time decline is Kane, Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Brock Lesnar, and Big Show. Only two of those are full-time wrestlers. Hidden gems are Adrian Quest, Nevaeh, Kevin Kiley, Rhett Titus, and Tommy Mercer. I don't believe any of this has changed since last time. Rollins, Braun, Andrade, Bryan, McIntyre. No, that's all the same. Let's look at what's going on in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Has any of this changed? Because I did do one for episode 50. That wasn't too long ago. So I don't expect too much of it. This is just going to be a quick check to see if anything has changed at all. Which I don't believe it has for New Japan Pro Wrestling. What about Impact? Jordan Grace, was she the champion last time? I can't remember. Oh, NXT, we'll get to that in its own little thing, because I need to discuss some things about NXT. None of that has changed. Yeah, it seems like all of the other stuff in the world is all the same. Now, next on the agenda is the whole point of this whole thing. New goals. SummerSlam sort of was the reset for a lot of the goals. And this is the video here where you can set new ones for me. You can be as harsh as possible, you can be as evil as possible, or you can be nice and just say like, hey Connell, give Becky another title run. And I'll be like, okay. So basically anything you can think of, like we saw before, we had people you want me to push, just other goals you want me to do in the game, or just anything you can think of really, like in a fantasy booking scenario, you're like, I'd like to see you do this, I'd like to see you push Kurt Hawkins, or make Baron Corbin the Intercontinental Champion. Stuff like that is what we're talking about. Set what you want done, when you want it done by, and ideally what my punishment should be if I don't do it. And no, the punishment isn't going to be make Kurt Hawkins 90 pop, or else you've got to release Seth Rollins, because that's not fair. Like you could say, if like I had Apollo, I didn't get Apollo to 70 pop, the punishment could have been, well, you've got to make him a WWE champion. Or just like that. So think of punishments along with the goals, really, would be ideal, because then I haven't got to ask at a later date. If I fail it, then I can just roll with the punishment instead of having to stop and go, what do you want me to do? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that's the main purpose of this, is just to get new goals, freshen up the series, and try new things out. Got NXT written down here. This is something I do want to go into because, as you may have noticed in real life, there was some big news regarding NXT about how it is essentially now the third brand on WWE because it's gone to USA 2 hours. So, logic would dictate, and this is something I have considered but I've decided against doing, that I should remove 205 Live and do NXT instead. There are pros and cons to both, I feel like, because I feel like I'm really putting in the work with 205 Live. I'm really enjoying what I've done with 205 Live. I've just brought in the tag titles, and it would be a shame for me to get rid of it. Plus, it's only an hour long, so I'm going to stick it on the end of SmackDown, and you've got 3 hours of Raw, 3 hours of SmackDown 205 Live. But NXT, I have considered making the third show instead of 205 Live, sort of merging them together. But that would mean the end of the Cruiserweight tag titles and the whole Cruiserweight division. But it's something I'm torn on. I'm leaning towards just keeping 205 Live. The main positive of having NXT in the format that I have it now and booking 205 Live instead of NXT is I can just call people up when I have something for them and not have to worry about any consequences. Whereas if I'm booking NXT, I can't do that. So yeah, I personally would prefer to keep 205 Live and have NXT separate. But if you really want to see me do NXT as a third show, I guess I can try and make it work. It won't be NXT UK though, that can stay as a developmental. On that note, I've gutted NXT, which is the main reason I don't want to do NXT, because I've taken all the good people out. Well, most of them. We've still got like Ciampa and Riddle and all them down there. That leads me to this section. Signings. I want them to be as realistic as possible. Obviously, you can get a bit of leeway, so I'd say no all elite guys, so anybody who's under contract at AEW. Even like in this game, you've got like Darby Allin, who isn't technically at AEW in the game, but in real life he is, so I would leave him alone. No AEW guys, no New Japan guys, but anybody else that you feel like you want to see me sign. I guess it could technically be a goal, because I had the goals last time to sign people, but I've got it in a different section because NXT is looking quite bleak right now. And yeah, I just want to freshen it up. Also, on that sort of note, just thought I'd go through these here. Riker, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, Colby Corino, I guess, but he's only here on a PPA doing the job from time to time. So yeah, Riker, Randy Orton, Kurt Angle, Colby Corino, and I believe that's it. They all failed. I did a big drug test. We can't be having drugs in my company. So these have all suspended. And I released Connor. Because I was just sick of the Ascension being shit. Kept Victor around because he's a meme. And he's in NXT. But Connor is gone. I think that's everything I want to go through. I went through NXT. Went through The goals. The goals is the most important part, so make sure to leave your goals again in the description. I probably won't be able to pick them all depending on how many comments I get, so I'll filter out the best ones. So if Taylor leaves a comment about making Liv Morgan 5-time world champion, I will ignore it. Yeah, that's, I think, everything. So I'll leave this up for a couple of days and let the goals gather in the comments. Let me know what you think about NXT as well. And hopefully at some point in the future, well, definitely at some point in the future, but hopefully some point soon, I'll be back with, I don't think I'm actually going to call it Season 2 in the titles. It'll just be Episode 67 or Episode 68, depending on how I title this. But I will probably verbally always refer to it as Season 2 or Phase 2 of the challenge run. And I hope to see you there.